It's so late. Yeah, wow.
Well, it's that.
I call this meeting to the Hamilton County Veteran Service Commission to order. Please stand and we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a revised agenda that's been passed out to everyone. Everyone has a copy of this, right?
Yes.
That's the file.
It doesn't matter to me.
Which agenda?
Last one.
Which is the one, on the, I've got one that has 11
Right.
items,
I'm sorry.
11 items on it, dated January 23rd, 2025.
It's 22. It's been correct.
Yes, that's been correct.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah, you could pass this one and we can decide if we want to do the 10 items. Well, that's it.
President.
Okay, we have two agendas that's being passed around.
President, I'd like to make a motion that we accept and do the agenda for the one January 22nd, 2025, to have 11 items on it. I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion duly seconded to accept the agenda with the 11 items. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Burwinkle? Mr. Madden?
Madam President, should I abstain until appointment of new officers?
No, you're on the board. You can go ahead and vote now, and then we're going to, later in the agenda, select new officers. You're on the board
I
now.
gotcha. Okay, great. Want to make sure. Aye.
Okay. Mr. Madden?
Yes.
Mr. Rowland?
Yes.
Mr. Parks?
Yes.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson? Mr. Ware?
Yes.
Mr.
Just after.
Oh, I thought I said, oh, because we saw Mr. Stanford.
Abstained.
All right. And we're going to recognize guests and new commissioners, so hopefully I don't miss anyone. But currently we have Judge Crosshouse.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome.
We have the magistrate, Tom Bergen. Sorry, I got my mind on tonight. Sorry about that. And we have new commissioners. And we're going to start with Miss Parks, Victoria Parks.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we have Commissioner Bill Burwinkle.
Morning.
Morning. And we have, I'm sorry.
Lincoln Ware.
I know that. My mind's going a little crazy this morning. I have a lot on my mind. And we have guests. Tom?
Tom Conlon,
Yeah.
Tom.
three-car veteran.
We have veteran Teresa Burns.
United States Army veteran.
Hey, Teresa.
Morning, Teresa.
And we have Charles Norton.
Hey, Charles.
Yes, hi Charles.
Good morning, Charles.
Maurice Thomas. Hello there.
Hey, Marine.
And did I miss anyone that didn't sign in?
You missed.
Eric. Eric over there.
Yes, sir.
He's not a guest. He's been assigned to purgatory. Okay. All right. Now, since we have some new commissioners with us, maybe perhaps you want to introduce yourself to the board and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I am Victoria Parks. I currently sit on Cincinnati City Council. I'm in my second term. I previously was county commissioner for 1 year because I was chief of staff to our beloved Commissioner Todd for 2. And when he tragically had to retire, he asked party to appoint me, and they did. So, and I am a United States Air Force veteran. It is a pleasure to be here.
Thank
I
you.
look forward to serving.
Mr. Bullwinkle.
My name is Bill Burwinkle, Army vet, 1967, when I went in. And today I serve on the board of Adopt a Class, a program I started 22 years ago that brings career mentors serving our underserved K through 8 students. This year we'll serve over 12,000 students in the region. I serve on the board of Golden Gloves, and I also serve as a commissioner for Great Parks of Hamilton County, Vietnam veteran, and a Vietnam veteran. Thank you.
Okay,
And Mr. Lincoln Ware.
I'm Lincoln Ware. I'm currently radio talk show host at 1230 The Buzz here in Cincinnati. Been on the air in Cincinnati for 52 years, going on 52 years. I'm a Marine Corps vet on the USS Midway, joined the Marines in 1970, and I got out in 73 and been in radio in Cincinnati ever since. Welcome aboard, Roy.
And Judge Ross, did you have anything you wanted to share this morning?
No, well, I always like to talk. I am the presiding and administrative judge of the Common Police Court, again, for the second year. I'm honored to serve in that capacity. We're doing some really great things with the court and through the court. And one of the main thrusts this year is community engagement. So you'll see our court doing things in the community, and we're really excited about that. I have the support of all of our 16 judges, and we're just happy to be here to support our Veterans Commission today. And so if ever you need anything, please feel free to reach out to myself or Tom Baradon, who is our court administrator. We support you wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Beardon, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We appreciate you being here. Okay, we've done all that, and now we're going to go into appointment of new officers. So, I'm sorry.
We need to make a motion for
the election.
Right, so we need a motion to have the election of the new officers.
Commissioner Head, I'd like to make a motion to appoint new officers to the commission, Hamilton County Commissioners.
A second.
All right, so the floor is open for nominations.
I have a discussion point. I have concerns with the appointment of Commissioner Burwinkle for the 2011-029 Attorney General opinion that a Veteran Service Commissioner cannot be also serving simultaneously on the Parks Commission in the same county. I have brought this to the attention of our Executive Director, also to the board. I have also given this Attorney General's opinion to the administrative judge, magistrate. We're done.
Okay,
Madam President, for me. If that's, I've seen the paperwork and everything, but the opinion of the court, they working on opinion, if I'm not corrected, from the ethics committee. So until they get that, I think it's,
This is the AG's opinion. It's heavily weighted legally. It's not a legal binding. It's not a law, but it's heavily weighted legally. And until the court can rule on it, but it is generally accepted. It's kind of a faux pas, I guess, would be what it is.
I'd like to get the opinion from the judge.
Well, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
President, so when this was first brought to the attention of myself and also of the interested parties, Commissioner Burwinkle, and really the rest of this commission, two questions needed to be answered from the standpoint of the Veteran Service Commission. Number one is, what authority does this specific commission have in potentially removing a commissioner that may be conflicted. Number two is what due diligence is required of this commission if there is a potential conflict of interest that's been raised of one of the commissioners. Both of those two questions have been answered by the prosecutor's office. The civil division has weighed in. Number one, the prosecutor's office made it abundantly clear that this commission has no authority to remove one of its commissioners. If there is a potential conflict of interest, then that potential conflict of interest should be raised to the appointing authority. The appointing authority for Commissioner Burwinkle, Commissioner Parks, and Commissioner Ware lies with the Board of County Commissioners.
Question, how did you seek that legal opinion without the board's authority?
Please clarify. What do you
If
mean?
we're not allowed to get legal opinion, how did you seek legal opinion on the board's behalf?
The director can ask the chief of the
Without the
prosecutor.
board's approval, no, you cannot.
That's inaccurate.
Can you show me where it says that? Because as far as I understand the legal opinion, you work for the board, and any approval you have to obtain has to come from this board. So in order to seek a legal opinion for this board, has to come from us first.
I'm simply advising this commission of what the prosecutor's office, our general counsel, has relayed. Okay, so whatever information I'm giving to you is for the board's knowledge, and then the board can then take whatever action they deem appropriate. I'm simply relaying the answer to these two questions the prosecutor's office.
But what I'm relaying is we are aware of this issue. This is something that has come up before across the state. We can't just bury our head in the sand and say, oops, because it invalidates our votes if this is ruled.
Okay, Mr. Stanford, if I can finish, okay? So that as I was saying, the authority rests with the Board of County Commissioners. Number two is that this is the first formal opportunity that this board has to actually weigh in and discuss this matter, okay? I'm not going to speak for Commissioner Burwinkle, so I'll allow him to speak. But my understanding is that the Board of County Commissioners is aware of this potential conflict, and that Commissioner Burwinkle has been talking very closely with the President of the Board of County Commissioners, as well as Commissioner Dumas, who nominated him. As far as this board is concerned, is that the Attorney General's opinion, Commissioner Stanford, that you brought up is simply that. It is Attorney General's opinion. It's not binding case law. You're more than welcome to relay that Attorney General's opinion. I have read it, okay? But again, if there is any sort of issue that a member of the public has with one of these commissioners, the appropriate step is to bring that to the attention of the appointing authority. It is not this commission who is the appointing authority over Commissioner Burwinkle. As this case with, as you all know, the 5 commissioners that were appointed by the court, the appointing authority for those 5 commissioners rests with the Common Pleas Court. That's all I have to say.
Regarding the executive director seeking opinion, I've been on this board for a year. He's been on the board possibly 6 months or more. And he's sought opinions on at least 10 occasions that I can recall, and none of which were objected by the board because he works for the board and he reports to the board. So him seeking an opinion is common practice on this board. Don't need any specific request to seek an opinion. It's his job to research opinion and then report back to the board.
Thank you, Commissioner Watson.
Madam President, since I'm the topic of the conversation, I like to address my fellow commissioner on motion.
We're in discussion.
Discussion there.
Oh, okay.
We're in discussion. Okay.
Thanks, Jerry. Fellow commissioners, it's an incredible honor to have been unanimously appointed by the Board of Hamilton County Commissioners to serve on this esteemed body alongside fellow Board of County Commissioners, county appointees, Commissioners Lincoln Ware and Victoria Parks. I'm deeply grateful to Commissioner Stephanie Summerall Dumas for her nomination and her strong leadership in the community which has paved the way for us to bring renewed transparency and accountability with the Veterans Service Commission. As we embark on this journey, it's critical to remember why the Board of County Commissioners took the bold step of expanding this body. Their intent was clear: to introduce greater transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership to the Veterans Service Commission. These values must guide every action and decision we take moving forward. Next, I want to address the potential conflict of interest that has been raised regarding my concurrent role as a member of the Hamilton County Great Parks Board. This potential conflict involves the fact that both entities are funded by county tax dollars. I take these concerns seriously, as I do the responsibilities of this position. To ensure the integrity of this board, I've been in direct contact with the Board of County Commissioners regarding this matter and have sought further clarification. While we await their guidance, I will voluntarily recluse myself from any and all votes or discussions related to budgetary matters or tax dollar allocations affecting this commission. I remain committed to working closely with the Board of County Commissioners and the President of the Board to resolve this matter appropriately. In that vein, I was stunned to learn upon my appointment that commissioners on this board receive a $700 monthly stipend for their service. In my decades of experience serving on boards, I have never encountered compensation for what should be a voluntary act of service to the community. Effective immediately, and this will be the only time I talk about finances, I am donating my stipend back to the Veterans Service Commission to be used directly in support of our veterans, and I strongly urge my fellow commissioners to do the same thing. Finally, I must bring to the board's attention a serious incident that occurred on my first day as a commissioner. An incident that, in my decades of public service, I only describe as appalling, disruptive, and an affront to the values of this commission. On my first day, I witnessed Commissioner Stephen Staniford engage in behavior so outrageous and unbecoming of a public servant that it demands immediate attention. In front of me and the entire office staff, Commissioner Stanford refused to vacate the executive director's private office, claiming, incredibly, that the office was his and that the commission itself was his commission. He dismissed requests to leave, disrupted the operations of the office, and asserted a level of authority that was entirely out of bounds. The shocking behavior escalated to the point that multiple sheriff's deputies were called. Even after their arrival, Commissioner Stanford defied their request to leave the private office. It wasn't until Magistrate Tom Baradon personally intervened, explaining the director's right to hold private meetings, that Commissioner Stanford begrudgingly exited the office. Let me be clear. This is not an isolated misunderstanding. It was a flagrant display of entitlement, defiance, and disrespect towards the director, the staff, and the very veterans this commission exists to serve. A number of them waiting in the lobby to be served until after the commotion ended. Such conduct undermines the integrity of this board and jeopardizes our ability to fulfill our mission. This is not the behavior of someone committed to the welfare of our veterans. It is the behavior of someone prioritizing personal ego over public service. The veterans of Hamilton County deserve better. They deserve a commission that acts with honor, integrity, and a singular focus on their needs, not on a board disrupted by chaos and infighting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Biffle.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll have roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Henry?
To be clear, this is a motion on the floor to go into voting of new officers.
You have something?
No, I just wanted to know what the motion was.
Okay.
That the motion was to vote on the new officers.
All right.
Then we had discussion. That was the discussion by Steve.
No, I just wanted to know what the
Yeah,
motion was.
right.
Well,
Okay.
that's what it was. Thank you. So you want me to restate the motion?
No, I got it.
Okay, great. All right, roll call, please, Pam.
Yes. Commissioner Burwinkle? Commissioner Head?
Yes.
Commissioner Henry?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes.
What about you?
Oh, Commissioner Rowland.
Yes.
Now, opening the floor for nominations of new officers, I believe we start with the president. Do you have any nominations?
I haven't discussed this particular nomination with the person I'm going to nominate, but I hope he doesn't take offense. But he's the most senior person on our board, and I would like him to give due consideration to this particular nomination, and I nominate Jerry Rowland to be our president of our board.
No, I refuse. Okay,
That's not due consideration.
I second that.
Hey, I appreciate all the nice, comments.
No, they're all true.
Yeah.
Jerry, what did you say? I'm sorry.
I don't want to be president, I think.
Any other nominations for president?
Nominate Gene Wilson.
You need to have a good job.
Second, Jerry.
Did you second it, Jerry?
Yeah, let's make it, yeah.
We have a nomination and a second. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I haven't even made the
I
nomination.
know you looking at me.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. Vice President,
I nominate Richard.
I second it.
Richard.
I said,
Nominations for Richard Hedden for first Vice President. Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. Secretary,
I'd like to nominate, Mr. Bullwinkle.
A second.
I'm sorry, someone seconded it.
Yes.
She said.
Ms. Parks, second. Jerry, do you accept?
Yes.
No, Burwinkle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't hear right. I'm sorry. Everyone excuse me. Just let me explain. I wear 2 hearing aids. For those who don't know me, I wear 2 hearing aids. So sometimes I don't hear soft-spoken people.
Hey, I understand your.
Okay. So we have nominations for Bill Burwinkle. Sir, do you accept?
So.
Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. So,
Now we'll vote, Madam.
yes, now we vote. So do you want to vote individually or as a group?
For what?
The slate of officers.
I think it would be better to go individually.
Okay.
Have it
All right. We'll start with president.
You could probably lump them all together since, you had nobody going up against anything.
It's up to you.
Let's just do individual.
Okay, well, that's
Proper minutes.
All right, so we'll do roll call, please. Pam on president, Gene Wilson.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hedden,
yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Maybe. Okay, and now we'll vote on first vice president, Richard Hedden.
Commissioner Berwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hedden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks.
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. And now we'll vote on secretary, Commissioner Bill Bullwinkle. Roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Berwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hedden,
Yes.
Parks.
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford,
Abstain.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson, Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. Well, I guess it's congratulations to.
Congratulations.
all of us,
Sure.
I think. Okay, all right. And now we're going to review, approval, and discuss the minutes of the meeting from December the 18th, 2025.
President, I'm going to make another motion for approving minutes as submitted with any adjustments as needed. I think most of the new commissioners haven't had a chance to review them, but would be up to the former commission to have reviewed them.
All right. So we have a motion by Commissioner Stanford to approve the minutes of the December 18th, 2025 meeting. Is there a second?
Yes.
Yes.
Second.
Second by Jerry Rowland. Roll call, please, Pam.
Need to call just those that were here. Commissioner Hedden,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. Oh, I was saying, I'm sorry, I wasn't here.
That's,
We don't have a quorum. We don't have a majority.
I'm
Did
sorry.
you review the minutes?
Sorry, didn't hear what you
Did
said.
you review them? Then we don't have a majority.
I did review them, but I wasn't here.
Don't make no difference.
We don't have a majority.
But if you just stay, she go with the majority.
That's right.
We had 4 votes, yes.
All right.
There's only 5 people on, there was only 5 people on the board. You had 4
December,
yeses. I wasn't here. I don't feel I should vote for something I wasn't here.
So if you abstain.
I did, but I did read the minutes. Okay. All right.
Well, you got a question on that?
Yeah.
I have a clarification. Since we haven't had a chance to read these minutes, once we read them, we'll be afforded an opportunity to comment on it at the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
I think that's what the motion was.
Well,
To be clear, though, the minutes were sent, probably within days after that December 18th meeting. It was sent out.
Well, questions about my president. It can't, what Mr. Watson said, next week.
Well, that was
If
the
you have any
motion to
questions,
begin
that was the
with.
motion,
Yes.
So,
Okay.
but there was no time frame set. for
Right.
when
That
we-
was the motion that,
I understood
Yeah.
that, but there was no time frame set when.
well, I would say by the next meeting, if you, I mean, we
That's
can't
fine.
come back 6 months later and
No,
have a
that-
question,
I
but
only
by
asked
the next
about-
meeting,
I only
yes.
asked about the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
okay, that'd be good next week.
Okay.
Okay, before we move on to that,
Well,
I'd like to amend my motion to say by next meeting to make them.
I thought that's what you said.
amendments. I apologize. Yeah, to clarify.
Clarify it was by next.
okay, so the motion was already put on the floor, it was seconded and then voted
Voted upon,
upon.
absolutely.
So
If
now,
it was voted, we're good. Then just never mind.
Yeah, we're
it
good.
was voted to
We
pass.
good.
If there's any issues with that meeting, Commissioner Watson, I'm happy to relay that.
Okay.
All right. So,
I think Jerry had something to say.
okay, in light of recent and past events, specifically his behavior on 113, which brought embarrassment to this commission, I move that we recommend to the Court of Common Pleas that Commissioner Stanford, because of his outrageous, unprofessional, and unethical conduct, be immediately removed from his position as committee.
Thank you, Jerry. I'm glad you were present for that conduct and you can comment on it.
That's part, I couldn't hear.
I said I'm glad you were present for it and can comment on it, so I appreciate it.
There's a motion on the floor, Madam President.
I know. So we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. Now, is there any discussion?
Right now, I'm making it. I appreciate you being there for it and able to make comment and make a decision on it.
Didn't have to be there.
I'm
We're
sure
not out.
you did. I'm sure you weighted heavily on where that information came from, so I appreciate that.
Okay.
Great, and thanks for staying on my vote. I was there,
Mhm.
and I did see it. And I'm calling on the board, and I'm calling on the public to join me in urging the Court of Common Pleas to take swift and decisive action to remove Commissioner Stanford from this commission. The standards of public service must be upheld. And disruptive, self-serving behavior, which we saw right at this meeting, cannot be allowed to derail the critical work of this body. This serve as a turning point. We must send a message to the Veterans Service Commission will not tolerate misconduct or distractions from its mission. Together, we have the opportunity to restore trust, accountability, and transparency to this board and to honor the faith placed in us by the veterans of Hamilton County.
Any other discussion?
Watch it.
Yeah, we're at the discussion phase now. Commissioner Sanford and I got appointed at the same time on Dr. King's birthday last year, and I've served with him for the whole year. And to be honest with you, Jerry's motion regarding his recent behavior is just one of at least 20 or 30 different examples where he's attacked people, he's interrupted meetings, he's cursed at people during the meetings, myself included. And his behavior has been, the best way I can describe it is if you oppose him on his thoughts or his motions or his plans, his immediate response, and his response has been this way for a year now, is to attack you. Doesn't matter who it is, or what their reasoning is, or the fact that somebody besides him may have an idea that someone else thinks is a better idea. His basic response is to attack that person. And he doesn't have any respect, or little, he's shown since I've been here, little respect for the other person's opinion. And I'm just saying that this conduct that Jerry highlighted, that Commissioner Rowland highlighted for his latest act or activity, has been reflective of his conduct and his activities for the last year. And I say that not because because I was here and I've observed a lot of it and been the object of a lot of his displeasure with other people who disagree with him. It isn't new, it's an old habit. And he's been that way for over a year now. And I have no indication that he will not be anyway other than what he's been for the last year going forward if he's on this board.
I could add, Madam President, because I was there. I serve the pleasure of this board as director. This board has the authority. When they come together, no one individual has authority. I've talked to almost all of you, and you've relayed the same sentiment to me. What happened that Monday, both at West Point and in the U.S. Army, there's a term for that. It's called conduct unbecoming. Conduct unbecoming of an officer or a non-commissioned officer. It was conduct unbecoming of this board. To have veterans that were sitting outside in the lobby see sheriff's deputies walk in to intervene on a matter that had to do with one of the commissioners on this board is conduct unbecoming. And I've tried my best to work with Commissioner Stanford in the 7 months that I've been here. We've agreed sometimes. We've disagreed at other times. But the sheer display of egregious, unethical, unprofessional conduct in front of our veterans and staff, two of them that had never even encountered a commissioner up until that moment, was a disgrace to this board. I'm sorry that it happened. To the veterans that were here in the office that day and to the staff. I've apologized. I'll continue to apologize again. And I just want to relay this, is that I've already relayed the concerns that the staff has with the conduct that Commissioner Stanford displayed that day, and echoing the same sentiments that Commissioner Watson just relayed in the 6 months that I've been here. So President Wilson knows that the staff are also concerned. So I have to say thank you.
Well, I mean, since this has become a roast of me, I guess maybe I might have a chance to say something. This is possible. If anybody else has anything to say, I'd really appreciate it if you guys want to go first.
Of course you have a chance to say
I
something.
mean, but if any other commissioner has anything they want to say, go ahead.
Vice President Head, I worked with Stanford since I've been here. He's a very smart young man. But I was called January the 13th, and the call really disturbed me about Stanford not leaving the commissioner's, the executive director office. So he asked me to come down. I came down at the end, magistrate was here, and we talked. And I talked to some of the people that was actually here. Can we get a chair for another guest? Okay, here, come right here. So, we have to understand one thing. Okay, we are board. It's a board of 8 now, but it was a board of 5. If I come in his office, her office by myself, I have no right as a board member to tell them what to do. In this meet, we do. We can direct. But the behavior, what I heard, I can't say on thing and hearsay something, but what I saw, he had calmed down a little bit and talked. I have seen behavior in this room from board members that I disagree with. I'm here for one thing. That is work with the board. I'm sorry, 2 things. Work with the board and fight for veterans. And that's my mission. And that should be all our mission. We voted for an executive director to run the daily operations. And as a board member, I don't care who you are, we should let him run this. If we have a problem, when the board meets, that's when we address that. That's our mission. And other than that, and I think it comes with the animosity of him being the director over another director. And that bothers me. It really bothers me, And I have seen behavior against the director, and I support him 100%. And I support board members, but I don't support board members misbehaving. And, and I don't think nobody in this room should. I'm not above the law. I'm just a county commissioner, and I'm here to serve veterans and support the director. And that's all I have to say, And that should be our mission.
I agree with everything you said.
All right, Stephen.
Look, yes, I was here. Never once raised my voice. Never caused anything other than I suggested that we have a meeting in here. After I gave, did I not say we should have a meeting in here? Director, yes or no? I'm not asking for a discussion. I'm asking yes or no. I said we can have the meeting in here. I said that. So, after I gave the Attorney General's opinion to Commissioner Burwinkle, who had no interest in reading it or any care to read it, you actually said when Magistrate Beardown was here, you were aware of this opinion for 3 months. So instead of trying to make the board aware of it, which we should be aware of stuff like this because it affects us in the sense that we need to be made aware of it. Okay? This is legal opinions, which affects the board. Secondly, I'm not the one who ran off to go get the sheriff. I'm not the one who created disturbance in the office. You escalated it to that point. Okay? I did not. I was calm and collected the entire time. So I am sorry that it escalated to that point, It was not necessary for you to do that. Especially when, yes, this is the VSC's office. That is your executive director's office. But this office space given by the county commissioner is given to the Veterans Service Commission. I never said it was my office. I said it belonged to the commission. And also, barring the short period of time I was in your office, most of my time was spent in that chair right there. When Magistrate Beardon, when Vice President Hedden came in, I was sitting in that chair. When Lieutenant Wolfzorn came in, I was sitting in that chair. So, as I appreciate whatever fervor was brought up in this office to the staff, I don't see where it's coming from. And I know you talked to several people who had no idea what was going on because they were still in their office. And you pulled other subordinate employees out of their office to come and witness, which I don't see was necessary. No different than when this commission is doing an investigation, instead of contacting your superiors, which is this board, you immediately run to your subordinates. That makes it's incomprehensible to me why you would do that instead of contacting your superiors. You would then contact somebody that you oversee. It's judgments like that that I don't understand. And it's not a personal attack. It's your judgment that is in question when you make decisions. When you know things like this AG's opinion and stuff, and why I suggest that you have meetings, because if you're going to discuss commission business with somebody who may not serve on the commission, that's a concern. So that's why I was here. So you can whip it up any way you want. The only thing I care about, and I don't give a shit about politics, pardon my language, I don't care. I'm not a politician. I care about veterans. Whether I'm on this board or not, that's what I'm going to do. And nobody here who knows me can deny that. You think I'm going to give up watching this commission if I'm on the board or not? No. Because it was a mess before I was here, and I'm damn sure not going to make sure it's a mess if I'm not on here. It's as simple as that. I care about the veterans of Hamilton County. And there are times I'm concerned with what's happening here because it's politics. Simple as that. When I have a commissioner who tells me they got the clearance from the Ohio Ethics Commission, and I tell her, no, I have an email that says she never got clearance from the Ohio Ethics Commission, and she tells me I can stick it up my ass, which, thank you, I record these meetings, so I have that right here, so we can play that back if you'd like. So, you telling me you got clearance from the Ohio Ethics Commission, and then me telling you you didn't, and then you tell me to stick it up my ass, that's a really great soundbite. So, I hate politics, but I love veterans. Other than that, whatever the court wants to do, that's fine. But if you want to blow this out of proportion and make it some big thing, that was your doing. And I'm done.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to add? Roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hedden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanford,
No.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson, Commissioner Wilson.
I abstain. Okay. Presentations and
President.
announcements.
President, what action are we gonna take on that motion? Are we going to reduce
Well, the
that?
motion was to send it to the court. We have no
We have
authority.
no authority.
We have no
Let
authority.
me ask the question before you two answer. Are we going to draft the letter? Are we going to send copies of the minutes? What action?
The court's here. Why don't we just, they're here right now. The administrative judge, Judge Cross is here. It's very simple. I mean, am I wrong, Your Honor, and Magistrate Beardon? I mean, they're here, they've heard all of this.
We would just ask that a formal letter, we were here, but just a formal letter being sent from the commission
to the presiding judge, and then we will take it from there.
Thank you. Thanks for the clarification. Okay. Presentations and announcements. Anyone got anything? I will entertain a motion to move into executive session to review emergency financial assistance applications for the period of December 18th, 2024 through January 17th, 2025 in pursuit of the ORC 121.22J and 5901.09.
So moved.
Hold on, move. Second. Roll call.
Discussion.
Yeah.
I would like to invite our judge, our administrator from the Common Pleas Court. And we're going to be doing financial stuff.
Yes.
So our finance manager, along with the executive director and our legal advisor to attend the executive session.
I'm sorry?
I don't think any of us have an objection to that.
Wait, well, that's fine. We welcome them to stay. All right, roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yeah.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson, Commissioner Wilson.
All right, so we're going to before we need to vote on the assisted and the assisted list and the non-eligible. So I'll now entertain a motion to accept the assisted list.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. And I will now entertain a motion to approve the non-eligible list.
So moved. I second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yeah.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson.
Yes.
Now we have open forum, so do any of our guests have anything they'd like to say while they're there?
Commissioner Burwinkle, did you vote yes on these? Okay. Would you like to change your vote to an abstention because these are budgetary matters?
Yes.
Well, there are budgetary.
Yes. The veterans relief is a budget item.
Okay, I abstained.
Okay.
On this motion and the one preceding
The
that.
last two motions.
The approved and the, yeah.
Okay, so for the record, Commissioner Burwinkle has changed his vote for both preceding motions. One for the assistance list for veterans that have claimed financial assistance, and also the non-eligible list. His vote is reported as an abstention, or as a formal recusal.
How we do it?
A formal recusal of those votes. Is that right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, under open forum, do any of our guests have anything they'd like to say?
I don't have anything to say. They want
Do you have anything you'd like to say today while you're here?
Oh, this is my first time coming to the Veteran Service Commission. I'm very deeply strongly for the veterans, and I just thought I'd just come down and I'll be many meeting just to see what's going on, and maybe when we start this annual event, maybe I can just volunteer to help out.
Good, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Gentlemen, over there, my friends,
No.
it's looking pretty in your red suit today. I wish I had that.
We're sure that is out.
Long Beach, Benoit, that's presented.
All right, so we're gonna move into,
I
I have some stuff.
I'm here to be very,
Under open
Train
forum?
Alvin, you know, I think work with,
Since there's nothing on
and
the
then
agenda.
work with, so I'll show you that.
All right, so under open forum, Commissioner Stanford,
Director, we asked, last meeting for a time and attendance, update.
Yeah, time attendance update, specifically Commissioner Stanford has asked us to look into, through county HR, the implementation of a time and attendance procedure through the pay-for system so that employees would log their time in. This is an updated meeting as of this morning from the time and attendance coordinator, Sarah Irwin, compensation and benefits manager. She explained that the time frame is set for February to launch. Liz Raines, who will be the primary contact, is on vacation until Monday. So that is underway. I sent that follow-up email Tuesday, January 21st. Before that, it was the day of the last meeting, December 18th, where I sent an inquiry to Sarah Irwin. I followed back Tuesday, January 21st. She responded to that email.
And then also, we now have possession of the Aldi gift cards. I know we've been waiting for months for those.
We do have possession of all the gift cards. They are in the safe.
And then we had asked for, our two legal, clarifications that we were promised answers on. One was the modification of section 4.15 of our policy and procedures, employee manual about the, barring, members of the employees of the VSC from running for public office, as well as, clarification on the policies and procedures and employee manual being applicable to commissioners if we're guided by 5901.
I do recall that I was in communication with your executive director.
Okay, so he has it. Okay, thank you.
Would you like the responses to those?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there's two inquiries from this board to the prosecutor's office to provide an opinion as to the following two matters. On the December 18th board meeting, Commissioner Stanford had looked for a possible future amendment to our policies and procedures manual, asking this question, quote, is it legally permissible to amend section 4.15B to also state unclassified service employees cannot run for political office while he/she is employed with the Veteran Service Commission? If an unclassified employee runs for political office, then it will be construed as an immediate resignation from the VSC. This is a response from the prosecutor's office from Eric Muniz, who consulted with, I sent this request directly to the chief of the civil division, Steve Simon, who replaced Kathy Bailey. The response yesterday in writing is, regarding item 1, it does not appear to be legally permissible to amend 4.15B to prohibit unclassified service employees from running for political office. The administrative code at Ohio Administrative Code section 123-1-46-02 subsection E specifically states that unclassified service employees are not prohibited from engaging in political activity unless specifically precluded by state or federal law. As the state's administrative rule specifically reserves the right to state and federal law to make any such preclusion from political activity for unclassified employees, it is not in the VSC's purview to apply such a restriction.
Okay.
The second item that this board inquired for legal opinion, I believe it was Commissioner Watson that asked for an opinion as to the language of a quote, certification and issuance document. He had provided that to the board. Happy to provide that copy to, and who actually put that out? The certificate, the certification and issuance, 3 copies for the new commissioners. It was a document, in summary, it was a 1-page document making the policies and procedures manual for employees also applicable to and binding to the commissioners as the employer. So the question to the prosecutor's office was, is the language of the attached certification and issuance document legally permissible, particularly the clause binding the commissioners to the same policies and procedures as employees? The response that we got from Mr. Eric Muniz yesterday, echoed by Chief Steve Simon, also echoed by prior Chief Kathy Bailey, was, item number 2 is not a good idea. The Policies and Procedures Manual applies to employees, not their employer. So Eric Munis and Steve Simon stated, we concur with Kathy's prior advice. Kathy did not weigh in on item number 1 before she left.
Thank you.
Any questions?
There was a couple other things that were discussed, but I can reintroduce those at the next meeting.
All right.
I was headed to the gym yesterday and I saw one of our billboards going away in Lawrence. Very nice one.
Yeah, we've got that. I was gonna bring that up in
Oh,
media
okay.
advertising, but a copy of that. But, any more questions?
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to return all powers delegated, granted, or conveyed by the previous commission to this board, to be returned to this current board.
Repeat that, Steve.
I'd like to make a motion to return all powers delegated, granted, or conveyed by the previous commission to be returned to this current board of commissioners.
Is that in a form of a motion?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second that motion.
Do you know what,
I don't know what to.
do you want to explain exactly?
Yeah, explain that.
Basically, any powers that we gave as a previous commission, since this is a brand new commission with new commissioners, we'll let them delegate what authorities they want to.
Can you provide examples? I don't know what specifically, at least for this new commission.
Any hiring, pay scale, stuff like that you wish to set, stuff like that, that would be up for this new board to make those decisions if they see fit. That's just an example that I can come up with off the top of my head.
Question on that. I don't see that I rescind my second because I mean for the board, you know, the old board already, you know, what we did in last year. This is a new year, so they are anything that we got right now will come in from the new board. You know, not from something to the old board. I understand what you're saying, but I don't think we need it because we already throw in the new board. We already voted for officers. So I think anything that comes to this board.
My understanding is any powers that we've conveyed still are in effect, so.
Madam President,
Yes.
we've already entered into the discussion phase. It would be improper for him to rescind his second after we've gotten into discussion.
Well, he could rescind it
I
at
can
any time.
anytime.
We've already started discussion phase. If he rescinds it and the motion fails, then we should not have gone into discussion, but we've already gone into the discussion phase.
I think he's explaining his rescission.
I understand it, but we're into the discussion phase now. You just can't eliminate that.
Oh.
Opinion, so.
There's a rescission of a second of Mr. Stanford's motion, is my understanding.
All right, so Mr. Steinberg has made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Now we can go back into discussion.
Any other discussion?
It is just, like I said, it is my understanding that any power is delegated, anything that is voted on by the previous board is still standing. So with consultation with the Ohio Association of Veteran Service Commissioners throughout the state, it has been advised that we kind of reset the counter with every year. It's been something that the larger commissions have done to kind of reset their authorities every year. Generally what happens at the end of the year now, they run a authority from January 1. They kind of ran an extension for their executive director to run until the next board meeting. Just a continuation until the next board meeting can make a decision. Just that way, it's every board gets to decide, because sometimes there's a large changeover, and in this case, we have 3 new board members who may have their own thoughts and may want to have an input on how we may hire or set wages and stuff like that. I think that should be heard instead of not having a say in that matter.
So my understanding of Commissioner Stanford's motion, it's pretty broad motion. The example that he gave was hiring of employees. I think it was September 9th that this board voted unanimously to defer the hiring of staff personnel, not the removal. The removal, firing of staff personnel, any staff lies solely with this board. But the hiring of staff personnel lies with the management and leadership. So the executive director, with consultation of now the department managers, hires the additional staff. Then the director presents that to the board. The board can decide to either rescind that offer or fire the employee if the employee is in a probationary period. Our policies state that new employees are in a 120-day probationary period. They can be removed at will for no cause. So that, again, still lies with the board. I think Commissioner Stanford's motion is to rescind that delegation of authority. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, and it would also extend like contracts and everything and stuff like that.
Okay, so back to the employee. So the reason why that motion was passed, my understanding is that it became too cumbersome for this board to get in the weeds of hiring employees. The last employee that we hired, when the board had retained all authority to hire, we did the interview process at this meeting with the candidates. Jim Gronefeld was one of the candidates for manager. We brought in all the employees or the applicants here, went to executive session, did the interview there. Now the process is that the manager does the screening of the resumes, the director does an interview, and then we make the decision to hire or not.
Let's talk about the first employee you hired when you had this authority. That would be fantastic.
Contracted employee, 90 days. With your express permission, Commissioner Stanford, you said yes.
Was she a contract employee?
Yes.
She was not. She was a hired employee.
No, that was not the understanding that I gave to that contracted.
So how did it happen that she became an employee of Hamilton County?
Because everyone that's brought in, whether they're contracted or not, are technically either part-time or full-time employees. We've already brought this up at a meeting.
And that employee can be 1099 employees.
That employee is no longer here.
But I'm asking
the decision of this board.
What I'm asking is very specifically, we asked for a contract employee, which is a 1099.
And she served 90 days, and she was not retained past her 90 days.
But that was an illegitimate hire.
No, it was not. I had a specific conversation with you, asking you if it was okay to hire that contract employee.
We
You told me
voted
yes.
for a 1099 contract employee.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is the commission meeting, not the director's meeting. I'm saying, we voted for a contract employee.
And she stayed
She was
here
not
for
a contract employee. She was a full-time hired Hamilton County employee,
for 90 days.
which is not what this board agreed to.
Madam President, that employee is no longer here, and I think this, we beating a dead horse. I mean, really, we are. I mean, you don't talk about the persons, because you can talk about people that other people hired, they drew a knife on a person and this and that. That's happened last year. Let's get into this year and work for the veterans, instead of beating a dead horse. Whatever happened to that employee and stuff, she's no longer here. So we needed this,
So
get aboard and come on and do what we need to do.
If I may, you're not concerned about the inner workings of this office? And how, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm talking currently, if I may. So you're not concerned about the inner workings of this office and how proper sick time wasn't utilized, and how I informed you and Commissioner Wilson my concerns, and you guys okayed me looking into it. And then when a CC'd email was submitted to Director Sansa, his first reaction was not to contact this board. It was to forward that email to a subordinate, not contact the president of this board or the vice president or the secretary or any other board member. It was to immediately email the person involved in the investigation. That is, I don't even understand how that's even possible.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have the emails if you'd like to see them.
Yeah, if you're talking about an email that was, that you yourself directed solely to the HR manager of Hamilton County and didn't CC anybody, didn't CC the president of the board.
He was aware
didn't
of it.
see. We've had this conversation
Yeah,
already.
so
Commissioner
why did
You-
you immediately
you
forward it
went-
to a subordinate?
If I could finish. You went directly to another county agency asking for information regarding employee, never informed the director, never informed this board formally, never CC'd the board president until the county HR director replied back to your email stating, we don't have those records, CC'd me. That was the first time I was aware. My immediate action was to relay it to the HR manager of this department.
And who was
Regarding
the
an HR
subject of that email?
The same subject of the person that you then went to the county auditor's office about a week ago. So these two instances of one commissioner going to another county agency about a specific employee, not informing this board, not informing the department head, was a concern. It was a concern then when you went to the auditor's office. It was a concern when you went directly to the HR's office. That's why I brought it to the attention of the people that I did, okay? For the very reasons that was already addressed of
Why
this
would
board.
you allow somebody who is a family member to enter the payroll of another person?
That is.
We approved that.
I'm not,
It
I'm
was
just curious why you would allow that.
It was approved. If what are you getting at, Commissioner? We're deviating from the topic.
No, this is
Getting out
open
of
forum.
hand.
This is open forum. I'm sorry. I thought this is what open forum's for. I mean, I'm just curious and I'd like answers. Because not only did this happen, as soon as you forwarded that email, which I don't understand why you wouldn't contact the president of the board or any other person, you immediately forwarded.
I
to
did
Ms.
contact the board president
Not
of your
first.
action. No, the board president knew of your
Menzel. He
actions.
was aware before you contacted
The board
her.
president knew of your actions going to the auditor's office beforehand, and that she was made aware of you going, the entire commission. I called the entire commission of your actions,
Gene, did I notify you what I was doing?
I don't know what you mean by that.
About investigating Miss Menzer and her possible vacation.
You did tell me you were gonna do that.
Thank you.
You didn't
Commissioner Hedden,
seek my
I told you I was
whatever,
gonna do
but
it.
you told me you were going to do that.
Commissioner Hedden, did I tell
Verbally,
you that I was
Yes,
gonna do
you
it?
did.
Steve, you had told me so much, but this right where I'm standing at and the way it's coming down, it's like vindictive behavior. Yes, it is. It's like vindictive. It's over with. She's no longer here. We won't make that mistake as you say it was. Never again. So, let's move on.
Madam
Please.
President,
Yes,
the
Commissioner.
question on the floor right now is whether or not the board is going to rescind those delegations of authority that we made in the prior year so that the new board can choose either to reinstate them or continue them. That's the motion that's on the floor right now. And this discussion is a subset of that, but it's not a part of this motion.
He was giving his explanation. A question was asked of him.
Let me finish.
What was he looking at?
Let me finish, please. The motion is, it is extremely broad. And I would say, if we're gonna deal with the motion, we deal with it as a broad motion. If there are specifics and subsets to that motion, I think they should be brought up individually.
I'm sorry, what?
They should be brought up individually. But this broad motion of rescinding all of the delegated authority that we made last year is the motion that's on the floor right now. And this
Question on the motion. Let's vote.
Can I just address another thing that Commissioner Stanford mentioned that would be contracts,
We have a
okay?
vote on the motion.
Let's do it.
Sorry.
Okay. He said it also pertains to contracts and how this commission.
Sir, we have a vote on the motion. This is a commission. We're closed. We're voting now.
Madam President. Yes.
I have a question. Is discussion closed?
What did you have a question on?
Same here. So this,
Can you put that one back up?
Yes,
this is a legal issue.
No, that's a separate issue, Commissioner. That was the legal issue that I brought up previously. That's not this motion. This motion, as I understand it, takes back all delegated authority. One of the other ones Commissioner Stanford brought up is how this entity contracts with other entities. before a motion was passed that all negotiation for contracts be negotiated by the director and then presented to the board for final approval. This commission had instances where one commissioner was going out and talking with other entities, radio stations, advertising companies, and then engaging with negotiation talk with them. So the motion was made back in the summer that now that there's a director, the director engages in negotiation on behalf of the commission and then presents those contracts to the commission for final vote of approval. So my understanding of this motion would be rescinding that delegation as well.
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna vote. Roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
No.
Commissioner Hadden,
No.
Commissioner Parks.
No.
Commissioner Rowland,
No.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
No.
Commissioner Watson, Commissioner Wilson.
No.
One more thing, not that I'm the most popular person here, and not that we apparently care about Attorney General opinions. I would like to ask for a motion to request the county prosecutor obtain an Ohio Attorney General's opinions about the appointment of Ms. Parks to the Veteran Service Commission. Being that the city council owns businesses with the city, with the county of Hamilton, i.e. SORTA and the Cincinnati Metropolitan Sewer District, as well as approximately 22 properties that are located within the city of Cincinnati, as well as the Charter of Cincinnati states that a council person may not hold any other public office. Look, I don't care if they tell me this is fine. It's not anything personal. I just want to protect this commission, and it's not just this. This is a question that I've been asked on a state level with part of the association. So, and since the association can't ask for an attorney to general opinion, and I'd rather us just err on the side of caution. Whether you guys agree with that or not, all I care about is veterans. So I'd rather just err on the side of caution. The fact of the matter is, Ms. Parks herself says she obtained the clearance through the Ohio Ethics Commission.
We're into discussion now. We just want to have a motion.
Okay, that's fine.
Do we have a second?
You made that as a motion, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second? You're a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. All right, now we're going to go on to, anybody else under open forum? All right, old business, financial literacy workshop update.
Okay. Madam President, turn it over to Jim Gronefeld, our financial services manager, for an update on our financial literacy workshop.
You have your flyer out?
Yeah.
As part of our objective to try to help veterans be self-sustaining, we're holding the first of what we hope to be a series of financial workshops tomorrow night. It's going to be at the Cleclamp Family Military and Veterans Center on Gilbert Avenue. It's from 6 to 7:30. We're providing dinner for the veterans, and we have a program that's going to cover banking and savings, debt and credit counseling, home ownership, particularly VA home ownership, and investing in retirement plan. We have 60 registered attendees. Our hope when we first discussed this was to maybe have 15 to 20. So we're very happy with the interest.
I'm sorry, Jim, I didn't hear what you said about how many you had.
60.
60?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's been very, very good. Amber's done a lot of advertising. We've advertised on radio, TV, and flyers, and then of course on our website. So we're really looking forward to that tomorrow night. Any questions on that? Or
we're hoping to cater this with Mission Barbecue. They are ready, able, and willing to assist for dinner for these participants. So asking for a formal vote to approve the purchase up to $1,500 of Mission Barbecue, feeding up to 75 attendees and presenters.
All right. I make a motion that we approve $1,500 for this program.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, duly second, to provide up to $1,500 to provide food for the workshop. Is there any discussion?
Are we co-sponsoring this?
We are sponsoring this. Yeah, Easter Seals is just presenting or providing space.
So this is our
It's our event.
our event, and we're paying for it with our funds.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call please, Pam.
Commissioner Berwinkle,
Formally abstained.
Mr. Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks.
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. Okay, the 2025 Veterans Appreciation Event.
Do you have a physical copy of the flyer on your person before I give it to Commissioner Wade? Thank you.
Okay, for an update on the 2025 Veterans Appreciation Event planning, we have our outreach manager, Amber Ndubisi.
I'm trying to figure out how to say it.
I can.
Hello, everyone.
I can get for you.
Okay. Okay. You don't mind?
No.
Thank you.
Packet.
On to the fun stuff.
Come on.
Just joking. So most of you were a part of last year's 2024 Veteran Appreciation Day event. It was a huge success. The benefit is that we were able to start planning earlier this year. So we have actively been planning and meeting about this appreciation event since October. Due to that, we have partnered with some other organizations, just figuring out how we can make it bigger and better. You see it? So our goal this year is to make this a 3-day event. And we will partner with AUSA, the VA, and DAV to expand this event to include the VA mobile claim unit. I don't know how familiar we are with those units, but once we start talking about bringing the claim units there, once we started talking about bringing the claim units, we realized that we had to extend the event because they require a minimum of 3 days. So this is just a snapshot of what those 3 days will look like. So August 21st through the 22nd, it would be at Sawyer Point. We would have the VA mobile units. We would have our service officers, as well as other counties in the surrounding area service officers to assist. And DAV will bring in their national service officers. And so 9 to 6, Thursday and Friday will look like a work day for service officers. Well, they'll report to Sawyer Point, and we will do claim work for veterans. We will have food trucks on site that will be for pay. We will have information tables just for the partner and agencies, ourselves included, AUSA, DAV, and VA. And then some form of limited entertainment, because it is, like I said, a day, it's 9 to 6. So those 2 days look the same. Then on the 23rd, which is a Saturday, that will be our event at Great American Ballpark. Similar to last year, that'll be our Veteran Appreciation and Family Celebration, where we provide the food, we provide the entertainment. We will have 100 vendors up from the 75 that we had last year, because we've received a lot of interest in this event, and people are already requesting to be vendors. Family activities, everything stays the same. And then the live music and bands, of course. And then at 2 o'clock, when our event ends, we'll end the event at Sawyer Point. Those mobile units will be at Sawyer Point all day this day. And then we'll start honoring our veterans, active and serving. We'll have food trucks for pay, with the exception of the vendors. We will provide the food for them. And then, like I said, the VA mobile units will be there, VSC, AUSA, DAV. We won't have vendors. We will be the only vendors to set up tables. We'll have swearing ceremonies, family fun, live bands, and we'll end the night with fireworks.
Before Amber continues, I just want to introduce, they've been at a meeting before. They're back here tuning in remotely. We have Jeannie and Laura from the marketing pack. They were the firm that the county had engaged in to plan from scratch the 2024 Veterans Appreciation Day event. We could not have done that event without Jeannie and Laura, and so
Great
we've
job,
invited them.
They did a great job.
Yes,
I
they did.
apologize, Market Impact. I meant to
No
lead with
worries.
that.
Yeah, so they're in there now, and it's going to be a proposal that we continue to engage with them for the planning of this even bigger event.
Yes. So just to explain the strength of partnership, this event, we feel it's important to partner. The Veterans Appreciation Day was in July, but I don't know if many were aware, but Operation Thank You, which is sponsored by AUSA, was the very next month in August. And it was a very similar event on a smaller scale. So by combining the two events, we're hoping to reach a larger amount of veterans. That's our goal.
Question. AUSA is not having their own individual event this year?
If we partner together, correct. It'll be one event. Yes, sir.
That's great.
Yes, sir. So just given the history and the strengths on partner with AUSA, they started their event in 2022 at Sawyer Point. And last August, they served over 1,500 people. They had a lot of static displays that we're interested in, swearing in ceremonies. We're interested in all of that. And also AUSA is a nonprofit organization, and they operate solely on sponsorship and donations. So by them being that 501(c), it opens up the opportunity to have sponsors and sponsorship and donations. Again, it makes sense to collaborate because VSC, DAV, and VA all supported their event as well last year. So they have strong ties to the community, and which is the reason that we're able to use Sawyer Point and all of their support for free, because that's their agreement with AUSA.
Before you move on.
Yes, sir.
Your third bullet point there. Would, for the benefit of the new commissioners, would the director please explain the nonprofit status, how it affects us?
Yes, so from a budgetary perspective, the ability to partner with a nonprofit that's able to actually take sponsorship monetary donations from some of the big corporations here in Cincinnati, P&G, Kroger, Western and Southern, it allows us to have a medium by which we send these partners to send their money. Because as a government entity, we can't take that donation unless we have an actual line item that takes actual donations from a for-profit company. That restriction is not there for a nonprofit. They can easily take in the donations and then utilize it for this event. The second thing, the important aspect of partnering with AUSA is that they're already known to these for-profit companies in doing an Appreciation Day event like this because Operation Thank You. So it would just be going to those same partners, Western and Southern, and saying, listen, we're going to do the same event. It's going to be even bigger. Can you support now in X amount? And then they don't have to start a brand new relationship. They already have a relationship.
Which is something we can't do as a commission, right?
We can do, but just as a
Has to be a line item.
yeah,
on the budget.
right.
Now, how would this affect us as, because we Hamilton County?
Right.
And people come in from another county.
Yeah.
My concern would be, with this, would this hurt this commission as being an entity of Hamilton County?
That's a good question, sir. So we discussed that thoroughly, especially with the assistance of the Market Impact. When it comes to the Great American Ballpark, that is for Hamilton County veterans. So when we present the free food, entertainment, that is, you register as a Hamilton County veteran. However, we do expect that veterans from all over will come because these medical units, that's what they do. They bring veterans in. They fly in because of the services that you can get with that VA mobile claim unit. So because of that, we're not providing free food at Sawyer Point. Those things won't be free. So we understand that more veterans outside of the community will come in. But again, the greater good is having that mobile unit so that they can get claims submitted for a veteran. And we serve veterans from all over.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just want to make sure
Yes, sir.
that, we are covered. as the Hamilton County Commission. Now, you just, like, because of not Sawyer Point, because of the Great American Ballpark, I know that they have veterans coming from other places and stuff, which was good, because how we did it. I just don't want that to hurt us.
Yes.
To make sure, because we got people looking at us that might say, wait a minute, y'all serving outside of Hamilton County, y'all money coming outside of Hamilton County. So I just want to make sure that we got all our ducks in order.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
That's it.
Question. What's the Wi-Fi capability of Sawyer Point? Do we know?
I don't know.
We don't, but I know we spoke about that in meetings. I can't get that answer to you, because of the mobile units, we understand the necessity and they know that.
Thought about partnering with maybe Verizon to offer a mobile hotspot, because I've talked with, County Recorder Scott Crowley. I know we're gonna be at Sawyer Point for several days.
Yes, sir.
He would like to be there for all of the several days to have his veteran ID card set up, because he will be able to, since the office will be open during those days, he would like to be set up there to do veteran ID cards, since he can transmit to his office. I have a contact for you over that.
Absolutely.
Because I spoke with him yesterday. Just because the opportunity that the office will be open is a very big deal. As our last appreciation day, that was not capable because of it being a Saturday. This is a new opportunity for us, and also the revised code does not require the veteran to be in Hamilton County. They could live in Hawaii, and he can still give them a veteran ID card. So it doesn't matter. As long as they present a DD 214, he can get them a veteran ID card. So it is a huge opportunity for us to increase the number of veteran ID cards in this program. Something that is an opportunity for us.
That's awesome.
So, but I would like to see maybe if we partner with, like, get Verizon to donate a hotspot there for the 3 days.
Okay.
One, it would help the VA. And I know that Verizon or AT&T both have strong military and veteran partnerships. That's something that we could possibly look into.
And that's something that we will definitely look into. Thank you for that suggestion. So this is just a snapshot of the VA mobile units. I know I thought they were vans. No, they're tractor trailers. That's why the parking was so important. We can't park these outside of Great American Ballpark. That's the necessity of teaming with AUSA and Sawyer. So Todd Sledge, he introduced this to us when we started the kickoff in October. And so we have already submitted this request. So it's just important to know that when you have 6 units, they have the capacity to process a claim from start to adjudication. Now, of course, it depends on the type of claim, but we look at the best possible solution, which would be 6 units, and they can process 15 to 40 claims per unit per day. And then in addition, like I said, we'll have national service officers, our service officers, and service officers from the surrounding counties to assist with the claim process as well.
Great.
So that, like I said,
Get an answer the same day. You get an answer straight away.
Yes, sir. You walk out with an answer and
Within 8 hours, ain't it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
That's great.
Right?
So the last time this was done, I believe it was in Phoenix.
I thought they did it in New York too.
And in Yankee Stadium as well. They had over 6,000 veterans that came across the country to get their VA disability claim. And the important thing of, again, partnering and presenting the best case to the Cincinnati VA, who can then present the best case to headquarters in DC, is that VA headquarters will not send their mobile units to any city. You have to be able to basically promise 2 things. One is a minimum 8-hour day so that they can hire contractors to staff these mobile units. Number 2 is almost a promise that you can attract thousands of veterans, because they're not going to waste their time if you can only attract a few. So to be able to give the Cincinnati VA the rationale that there was a successful Veterans Appreciation Day hosted by the DAV and Veteran Service Commission, and Operation Thank You that happened the month later, 2024. They're going to combine effort in 2025. This could attract thousands and thousands of veterans. Cincinnati should be your next stop. And so that's why the VA Medical Center is excited about our event, because then it helps. It's a again, partnership. So That case, as Amber said, has been presented to headquarters. We're waiting to hear back on whether they approved it. A disclaimer, in the event that headquarters does not approve the mobile units, we are still going to have our Appreciation Day event. We're still going to have a multiple day event. We'll just bring our service officers. We'll pull in Warren County, Claremont County, Butler County, and other service officers as well to provide that claims work, and the DAV as well. Obviously, it's not going to get adjudicated in 8 hours.
Right, right.
So again, the request is to me.
But how do it look with you know, with that you say you're waiting on, on them? Do it look good? Do we look?
It's looking really promising, is what Todd Sledge, who's their public affairs officer, said. But again, you know,
We never know.
we don't know. So, but that's the,
But we have asked in enough time because they require a minimum of 90 days to
Right.
even consider the request. So
Okay.
we're way ahead of them.
Great job, man.
Mhm.
So again, just showing the strengths of partnership. DAV, as we all know, generously supported our event in 2024 with more than 100 volunteers because they have the volunteer network, which is a database where they connect with their volunteers. So they're willing to assist us with that. They're willing to assist us with the service officers. They're willing to assist with marketing, providing printing and mailing support to promote the event, and also promoting the event in their wide network. Now, here we get to the budget. So this is preliminary. So, of course, we're still working on these numbers, but it was important to add a 3% increase because yesterday's prices are not today's prices. So we do have an estimated low end for the event as well as a high end for the event. So of course, all these numbers are subject to a change, especially when you get into like marketing and things of that nature, considering that we already have that. So we just want you to be able to see a full breakdown of the budget. Now, I know on the low end, the estimated budget is slightly over what we anticipated our budget to be, but understand this is a bigger event and it's more days. But in addition to that, we are in the works with sponsorship and grants. Now, we don't know what we will get, but we're hopeful that at a minimum, we'll get 82,000 and hopefully the maximum. Also important is SCIP grant that we have met and spoke about. It is looking good, but it is a reimbursement. So even if we do get the full ask, which is 150,000, we're hopeful, it won't be into the third quarter of this year. So just understand that if we get that, we'll be paid back, like I said, within the third quarter of the year.
so let me just add here. So, commissioners, you're aware that the budget that we had presented to the Board of County Commissioners that then got appropriated, the initial allocation for a Great American Ballpark event was at 200,000. So as Amber indicated, that the low end is 240, the high end puts us just north of 325. That is over, okay? However, that budget also had line items that probably will not materialize this year. What are some of those? The Veterans Memorial that we're talking about for the new building, okay? I'll give an update on the new Mercy Health building move. That's looking like the move won't materialize until 2026, okay? So that at least saves us about 100,000 right there in a Veterans Memorial that most likely will not be dispersed this year. So we have additional funds that we can use for our Appreciation Day event. Also, we were planning that event to just be a single day. This is now a multi-day event. So there's rationale as well for the increase in the estimated cost. I want to just highlight this SKIP grant program that Amber talked about. This is by the Addiction Services Department of Hamilton County. They reached out to us because they were informed by their state headquarters that there is a Justice Initiative grant program to be allocated specifically to Hamilton and Franklin County. Upwards of up to $300,000. Okay, so split for Franklin and Hamilton County. However, it can only be used for veteran initiatives. So addiction services combined with veteran initiatives. So they reached out to their counterparts in Hamilton County, who then connected them to us, stating that, well, the Veteran Service Commission should be your first phone call. So they did. We had a thorough meeting in which they loved our proposal for a Veterans Appreciation Day event. They want to be a major sponsor, and the form that they want to be a sponsor is they want to ask for up to $150,000 from that grant program to be given to this event. So if we get that program, it will drastically drop our total cost down. And as Amber said, it's a reimbursement though. So we're going to have to pay for the event and then submit all the receipts, get reimbursed in Q3 or Q4. So that, and that's looking really strong. They presented this to the federal grant program, January 10th. So, and then of course, AUSA has their sponsorships, and this is not even considering all the other sponsors. We have yet to reach out to Fifth Third, GE Aviation, P&G, Western Southern, Kroger. So, hopefully that's looking really promising as well.
Great job. I like that.
Before you move on, I brought this point up last year, and perhaps we can take advantage of it this year. Under 5901, our state revised code for this commission, there is a separate source of funds that comes directly to the various county commissions from the Ohio lottery and the gambling, those acts that were passed. I brought this up last year, and that money has been set aside specifically for special projects that go beyond the budget of various county commissions. And if you have a program or a process that you want to get funded, there are funds available that come from the Lottery Act. They were in the Casino and the Lotteries Act that we approved, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, that they have to set aside certain funds available for veterans. And I brought this up last year. We didn't move on it, but this might be an opportunity to get an additional source of money if we structure this program and make a direct appeal to Ohio Department of Veteran Services. Money's under that casino lottery bill set aside.
Thank you.
That's something you look answer.
Well, yeah,
It's great, but
that's what it's there for.
so we kind of asked questions and stated concerns as we went along, but is there any additional questions or concerns that we can answer?
Great job. That's all I got to do.
So, it's the board for a formal vote to approve an expenditure for the 2025 Veterans Appreciation event not to exceed $330,000. Again, we'll be providing regular updates, and we will be providing regular updates for the board as to expenditure.
One last question. Last year, we got $100,000 from Hamilton County Commissioners directly to this program.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that in approving our budget this year, they're not going to make that $100,000 contribution, that is now all our event and our funding. Is that correct?
Correct. That was $200,000.
$200,000.
It was $200,000. So the Board of County Commissioners had paid for 2024's Veterans Appreciation event. Grateful they did that. It was the inaugural event. However, correct, they will not be expensing for any future events, at least for 2025. That's why it has to fall from the Veterans Service Commission budget.
Okay.
Mr. Prophet here was kind enough to quickly look up and that there is quite a bit of Sawyer Point that does offer free Wi-Fi. So we should look at who the carrier is and see if there's a way that if it is not covered where we're at, if they can boost it or what we can do that way. The VA and the county recorder and as well as our officers can have access to that, because I think it'll be very helpful for as many veterans who are going to be rolling through there.
It's probably out to fiber.
All right, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve up to
I'll
the,
make the motion.
And I'll second that motion.
okay, the motion's been made and duly seconded to approve up to $327,810 for the 2025 Veterans Military Appreciation Day.
Can I also specify that will include a direct contract engagement with the marketing pack again, not to exceed $93,000. I have the contract in my hand. I've glossed over it. However, they did provide a range. So I'll be engaging with them on the specific number. But this motion would be approving a engagement with the marketing pack not to exceed $93,000.
All right.
As
Is
a
there
part
any discussion? We're under the motion. Is there any discussion? Anybody got anything they want to clarify, add?
Let me ask about that 78,000 for the Great American Ballpark.
Yes.
Now, last year, did the commissioners get Great American Ballpark for you? Or-
Yes.
Okay,
They're gonna do it again.
Okay,
Right. Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah, so the date has already been blocked. It's a good date for us. It's not competing with any red schedule, but that is food.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna reiterate. It's not rental.
90% of that cost is food.
okay.
It's
And
like-
they've already discounted the cost.
Okay.
There's
It's great,
personnel
it's great food.
Yes, it's
Amazing
really good.
food.
Had too
Well,
much.
you were there. You-
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
there,
Oh,
yeah.
he announced it, so.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna clarify. That is for food.
Okay.
Okay.
Not
That's
rental
what
or
I- Okay,
praise.
that's what I.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
I according to the clues.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Any other comments or questions to the marketing pack?
Great job.
Yes, yes, great.
Trust me, they'll. Go ahead.
Be a great event. The strength of what we saw last year was incredible. Laura and I both said that it was the best event committees we've ever worked with. And I think the addition of AUSA just strengthens that. So we're excited about it.
Thank you.
Definitely.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time.
I'm sure we'll be hearing from you.
Yes.
Okay, moving on the agenda, Veterans Memorial Monuments update.
Okay. Commissioners, this was requested last meeting for an update on where we stand with this potential to take on veterans monuments and cemeteries. So for our brand new commissioners, according to Ohio law, the responsibility for the maintenance of veterans plots, veterans monuments in cemeteries within the county rests with the Board of County Commissioners. However, other counties have made agreements with their Veteran Service Commission that responsibility be delegated to the Veteran Service Commission, and in exchange that the county commissioners would continue to support whatever they need in order to maintain these veterans monuments and plots and markers. And specifically Montgomery County that has this agreement with their Board of County Commissioners, that additional funds would then be allocated to the Veteran Service Commission for the maintenance of these cemeteries and monuments. Probably 3-4 months ago, we had a cemetery, Vine Hill Street Cemetery, ask if the Veteran Service Commission can actually put up a veterans memorial at their cemetery. They currently don't have one. So that's what opened up this question on whose responsibility is it? Can we even take it on? So we've been just gleaning information these last few months. I've spoken closely to the executive director of Montgomery County. She stated that how they do it in Montgomery County is there is a budgetary limit every year that the Board of County Commissioners has set for veterans monuments and graves. And they're able to then move forward with the maintenance of these cemeteries up to that threshold. It's an open-ended question for how we would want to, if we wanted to approach the Board of County Commissioners specifically, how we would do it. I've already talked to the budget office. Budget office, Hamilton County is more than willing to recommend that we take this on as a Veteran Service Commission. We would just have to specify what that partnership would look like. Obviously, we'd have to put it in a formal memorandum of understanding, ask for a specific budgetary amount. They also work specifically with, when they went through a bidding process for veterans memorials and monuments, up in that area, an hour north of us, Dodds Memorial was the only one that could do that type of work. So I've reached out to Dodds to give a example of the work that they do in Montgomery County. You've gotten the full presentation. This is just a snapshot. Obviously, they do restoration, but they also do actual putting up of monuments. And they have a $25,000 limit with Montgomery County Veteran Service Commission. For example, if a monument costs $50,000, then this year they could do phase 1 up to $25,000, then next year, phase 2. And that's how they do it there. So at this point, my recommendations to the board would be, let's look to see if there are other memorial companies here in Hamilton County. Because if there are, then we do have to subject it to the bid and get 3 quotes. And then let's see where their bidding is for specifically this monument.
Question, is that 25,000 per monument or 25,000 per annum?
Per annum for the position.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot. One of the concerns that was brought up is that we're a large county. We've got a lot of veterans plots and cemeteries. If we take on one, it's going to be our responsibility to take on all. But the counter argument is if the Veteran Service Commission doesn't take this on as the lead element, then who's to say that it will be taken on as board? So I think we should take it on. It's just that we do our due diligence to see what the cost is and make it clear that we're subject to an annual threshold. And if we can't get to your cemetery this year, we'll look into it for next year.
Elephant in the room. Now what about cities that have monument for veterans? So is this only for graveyards?
Yeah, so this would be only for the monuments and plots and markers that are in the cemetery. Now, we have supported monuments in the past. Sycamore Township was the first one that asked, and we supported that up to an amount that was agreed upon by this board. The board could still do that.
Yeah, okay, that's all my concerns on. But this is a big thing taking on. You have so many plots in the ground for veterans. This would break couple. I mean, we need to look and put specific on how we're going to do it. If it's going to be a monument like that, you talking about taking the plots and doing that, that's a big responsibility. I mean, have anybody thought about how many veterans is buried? You got all these graveyards?
90,000 last count. I've been working on it with the Geological Society.
And I appreciate that. But you said 90,000, and we take that on, and you talking about only 25,000, that's...
Well, that's Montgomery County, so...
The problem we have is, despite the Florida County Commissioner's best efforts, it's been something that's been lacking. It's not been the forefront. And once a monument starts to deteriorate, it becomes more costly to restore.
You talk about monuments.
And the plots themselves, as they sink and as they start to sink, it takes more fill dirt, it takes more to reset a headstone. These things are all stuff that, in my discussions with several cemeteries, the longer they've been unfortunately neglected, the more cost goes into effect of restoring them. Now, the townships are ultimately, when they're in a township, it first goes to the township. If the township doesn't have the funds, then it goes to the county. 5901 is very clear on that.
Director, I know I'm not part of the board, but I just remember reading an article years ago where there was a cemetery in it, and it's on, I can't remember the name, it's on Fleming, there in Wyoming.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I know exactly what you're
state, there were some provisions that the state provided to maintain cemeteries. Now, it's not monuments, but this is cemeteries, but I heard you all talking about that, so, that might be something to look at.
I appreciate that, Colonel. One other thing to look at this, to the Colonel's point, is that we could look to be a last resort for these cemeteries. That if the township can't support it, the municipality can't support it, another funding source can't support it, then we can entertain their request, subject to whatever threshold, and then work with community partners to see how we can all work together in this, and not just take this on as a Veteran Service Commission as the sole entity. I propose this to the board that I think we have enough information here that if the board would just give me a month to put together a draft memorandum of understanding, I'll submit that to the board, a memorandum of understanding of what this could look like if we were to partner, and then we can decide then on whether we want to actually engage with the county in this. But in the memorandum of understanding, we'll bring that up. What are additional funding sources? What are other partners? If we need to hire additional personnel that may be solely responsible for checking in on veterans, I can put together a draft and work with the team to do that.
Well, I think you could get that together and then report
Yeah.
in 30 days where we're at.
Yes.
Well, he's asked for a motion.
No,
We
motion.
need
No,
a
no.
motion, just, he's
Yeah.
going to.
I can just draft
we're directing him to
something
do
up.
that.
Have to bring it back. Beach Grove, what you was talking about.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a
So-
few years
Commissioner
ago.
Brooks.
It was a few years ago that this commission awarded a Union Baptist Church money to improve their cemetery. The African American Civil War veterans that are
Okay.
through the senator's office.
Okay.
Sheriff Brown, was it Sheriff Brown?
Sheriff Brown.
What Sheriff Brown called our office, and then I caught this office.
Yes. Okay. So we've done in the
That
past.
was up there in
We
Price.
have,
Okay.
I remember that.
Okay.
there was, some defacement and some derogatory paintings on some of the cemeteries there. And we have a Medal of Honor winner there from the Civil War. And, the county, the Veteran Service Commission approved a grant of $10,000 to assist that cemetery in, refurbishing itself and correcting some of the damage that was done to veterans and other interns there.
Yeah, that's overpriced. I remember that.
Okay, well, why don't we look into all avenues that we can possibly take, where we can get funds from, if there's something that Ohio can offer us, or anything else.
I'd like to bring something else up. In the Biden administration, he made money available for the care of African American cemeteries for veterans. Throughout the country, and there was a lot of money. So I don't know if it's still going to be there, but we should take a look.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so,
Is it possible to identify the total scope? So we get our arms around.
How many cemeteries? How
Yeah,
many
what we're
monuments?
looking at. And
Yeah,
then-
we can do that. I'm sure it could be extensive. I mean, for example, the not Arlington Cemetery, the one in Spring Grove Village, Spring Grove Cemetery, stated that they don't even know how many veteran plots they have. But we'll gather information.
You know, there are some cemeteries that need immediate attention.
Yes.
For instance, the one in Madisonville.
Right.
You know, that gets flooded. The bodies were floating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, if we can help with that, that would be wonderful.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
okay, we'll move on to the
So
ban.
you'll have this at the first meeting in March.
30 days from now. Yes.
Well, the first meeting after that is the first meeting in March.
Yes.
We like the second meeting. Right?
30 days. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the van acquisition
Okay, the
update.
van acquisition, board has voted to acquire this 22-foot van. It's going to be able to house up to 3 wheelchair-bound veterans on it at one time. We've already put out interest for part-time drivers. The county HR website is being updated with that. They currently don't have a drop down for a part-time driver. So the delay in putting this on the county website is because they're trying to create that brand new job description. So apparently takes longer than you'd think for a brand new position. But looking to get approval from the board on these design ideas for the board, for the van. It will be one with red, white, and blue stripes and then silhouette of soldiers, or just red, white, and blue stripes, no silhouette of soldiers. We'd also have to add the Space Force emblem on the back, and then also add contact information for our Veteran Service Commission website, phone number. But if there's any preference of this commission on what the design would be.
I like the one with the soldiers.
I like the
salad,
soldiers.
everything on it.
Okay.
You know.
There's two versions of that. There's gray or just leave the color of the van white.
I think the white helps stand out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More
more
reliable.
visible. It's more visible.
Any further questions? Asking for a vote to approve the first design.
Which design now?
Be the white with,
Looking at the,
it's saying,
They-
sorry, is yours in color, King? Okay.
Yeah.
This was the last page.
they-
The last page, that's what I said, so do we wanna label that number 3? Selection number 3?
Sure, yes.
Well, I'm just saying, then it's perfectly clear.
Uh-huh.
To me, it's on my 3rd page. Number one would be the first page, the gray with soldiers. Number 2 would be the gray with no soldiers, just the stripes and the flags, stars. Or number 3, the white with the soldiers. So what's our pleasure?
I make a motion that we do number 3. Thank you. Second. Okay.
A motion to accept design number 3. Is there any discussion?
One discussion on that. I don't see Hamilton County
Right.
on there. I know
Black
it would be on
words.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's on the logo.
Seal.
It's
I
on,
just
it's on
didn't
the
see
logo, but I think it should also
Yeah,
be
be
up
bigger.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it should be up here also.
Yeah. I see
Yes.
it. I see it. Yeah, okay. Good.
It's on the logo, but I think the more attention that we bring that this is a Hamilton County van, the better for us.
Yes.
It's not gonna be that much to add Hamilton County to it.
Okay. Yes.
Since we have gotten so much attention that we didn't have a van.
Yeah.
I want them to be sure they know that we have one.
I hear you.
Okay.
Somebody asked
So
me
with that
yesterday.
modification, adding Hamilton County
Yes.
here, or maybe even to the back of the van.
And also a phone number or a
Yes.
website.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
About QR code.
Look into QR code.
It's gonna be come up with you are code goes down the road.
website
It's
will
parked.
be on
I
there.
guess they could
I
do.
mean,
Lincoln.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen them on some of the other VSCs when they're
Yes.
starting to do it.
There'd be plenty of room right here on the back.
Yeah, just a thought.
Won't hurt. The more we get out there, the better. Okay, so let's see here. You have a motion
Yes.
to accept design number 3 with the modifications that we spoke about.
Commissioner Park seconded.
Commissioner Park seconded it. Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, let's do a roll call, please.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hedden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks.
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes, question, is there a cost associated with this?
The total cost is 120,000, which the board had approved in the last vote was up not to exceed 125,000.
So shouldn't Mr. Burwinkle recuse? If we're talking about the red, that's,
To be safe, yes. Yeah. Recusal. It is attached to a wrap cost.
Sure. So moved, please.
Commissioner Sanford,
yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes. All right, and we're gonna move on to the media advertising.
Okay, media advertising, you'll have a picture of our billboard that's up and running. This one I think is on Glenway. Veterans have seen it. I've had people contact me saying that they've seen our billboards. It's a great design by Amber DeVisi, who worked with Lamar to do that. So that's going to be running rotating billboards throughout the year. So great form of advertising.
Be that.
Yep. So just update on that. The second is I just want to make sure that we are being fully transparent to the public. We certainly welcome Commissioner Lincoln Ware onto the commission. We have a celebrity now in our midst. As we all know, Commissioner Ware runs a highly recognized and successful radio station on the Buzz radio station. And before he got onto the commission, this board had voted to approve our marketing budget for 2025. One of the items in that budget was radio advertising through Radio One, which is the company under the umbrella of the radio station which Mr. Commissioner Ware is on. So that has already been approved, a $24,000 allocation for Radio One advertising, specifically 30-second radio ads with our information about our commission. And that radio ad would rotate when we have upcoming events, like the Veterans Appreciation Day event. I would just like to ask for just another vote of consideration for the approval of this radio advertising through Radio One, and asking Commissioner Ware to formally recuse himself from this vote, and obviously Commissioner Burwinkle as well, so that we make it clear to the public that Commissioner Ware in no way participated in the approval of this form of advertising through Radio One.
Question. Okay, I will make a motion, but I don't think it really, because he wasn't here when we voted for this.
Correct.
I
We
mean,
weren't even aware
right.
that
I mean,
Ware
so
was.
I don't see how this could affect anything, because he wasn't nowhere into this. He didn't know nothing about this. Nobody did. We
Correct.
voted for this in 24.
Correct.
So why would we entertain a motion or a thought on this when it's always been approved in 24?
It's already been approved and appropriated. I don't think we can
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
reopen it,
Yeah.
rehash it. If we do, then we're
Right.
asking for.
That is correct. Let me be clear. There is no conflict of interest
Yeah.
for Commissioner Ware regarding this form of advertisement. It's just literally the day I found out Commissioner Ware was going to be appointed, I was given the contract to sign. And just in speaking with the county administrator, Mr. Jeff Aludo, as well as the prosecutor's office, this is a measure that is not required, but if the board wants to take it under its prerogative to just vote again, that's due prerogative, but correct, the board has already voted for him.
I don't see what this is for me. I mean, he wasn't here. You know,
Thing above board.
He is here now.
yeah, but
Keep things above board, we can put.
yeah, but I'm saying it's already been.
Richard, motion.
Huh?
You said you're making the motion.
I'm not making a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I don't see why.
Okay, there's a motion been made to approve the marketing budget.
I'll second.
And second.
Question. It's already been approved. So what effect is this? I mean, are we ascending the motion
No.
and what's called we did in 24?
Here,
Well, here's the commissioner,
I'm
is that,
confused.
well, I'm just now, I guess, I'll put it this way. I'm just now asking for direction from this board, whether I'm okay to sign this contract with Radio One.
Okay,
So-
now that's a different thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, okay, so,
One way you may want to look at this is that he's already been advised, listen, we're all for this advertising budget. We have no problem advertising with Lincoln's radio station. We want to do that. We want to reach as many people as possible. But I think what this is more of a housekeeping item than it is anything. Just to show that we have complete confidence that we have no issues, no problems whatsoever going forward with our media marketing package. That's how I look at it.
If you're not comfortable, I mean, just recuse.
We're not changing anything. We're going forward with what we already agreed to. It's just a reconfirm to say, hey, we're very well aware that he's on a radio station, but for us, it's no conflict of interest whatsoever, and he didn't even vote on it.
yeah.
That's how I look at it.
And Commissioner,
If somebody looks at it differently, I don't.
this would just give me clarity
Yes.
on how to move forward.
Well, you've already been told to have that. So I think when you're told by Jeff Ludo and you're told by the prosecutor's office that we need to reconfirm this, then I think that's what we should do. It's
I would
just,
agree with that.
it's just, to me, it's a housekeeping item.
And it's in the interest of transparency, like you
I
said.
understand what it is, I mean, but, you know,
All right, is there any other
you open
discussion?
up the door, President, anything that was done in 2024, there might be a conflict. You gonna bring it back in here when they wasn't here? I mean, to me, you know, transparency.
Well, it would have been different if
Not
I had
in there,
already,
you know?
yeah, if I had already signed the contract, but I just,
He hadn't signed it.
I hadn't
yet,
signed it,
so it's
so.
just reaffirming, okay? All right, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Berwinkle,
Please say,
Commissioner Henry,
I had to vote.
Close.
I'm gonna vote yes on it.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford,
recuse.
Commissioner Ware,
Recuse.
Commissioner Watson,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes.
Sad vote, not a bad time.
All right, so that's been approved.
5-3.
All right, so let's move on to the Bond Hill building
Just
update.
getting
Oh, I'm
clarification.
sorry, I didn't hear you.
And the three that were recusals and abstentions,
Commissioner Ware, Commissioner Berwinkle, and Steve.
no one voted against it.
Correct.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'm just, let me get my clarification.
All right, so the Bond Hill building update, please.
Bond Hill building update, I think you all have the new updated architect's rendering of the building and specifically our office space. As you all been aware, looking forward to the move to the Mercy Health building sometime in the future, although it keeps getting pushed to the right. This would be housing us and 5 other county entities. The footprint is about 3 times larger than our current footprint. The ability to bring on additional staff. I think I counted up to 24 desk spaces for office staff. Off the highway, free parking for our veterans, great training space, great ability to be centrally located within the county. So we're looking forward to the move. So that's the rendering. With the color scheme of furniture and all that. Commissioner Stanford had asked the question a few meetings ago on whether the modular office spaces would stay. The answer is yes. So these office spaces have walls that look permanent, but they can be easily taken down and moved if we need
The
to.
desk and everything.
Correct, and
Awesome.
TVs that are there. There will be, though, a permanent wall that's going to be added to this north section of our office space. That's for security purposes. They don't want a modular wall that's separating our private security access only office space and the public. The other thing too is we've asked and they have delivered on our request for up to 6 veteran parking spots, 3 that will be designated Purple Heart only. And then the other 3 will be Silver Star, Purple Heart, and then the other 3 are just veteran specific.
Question.
Yes, sir.
You have now indicated that we won't be able to move until probably 2026.
Yes.
Which raises a severe concern in this office space.
Yeah.
We are growing at an exponential rate here. We do barely have enough staff to maintain, and now we are entertaining a 4-day event for veterans. We are getting our name out in the public at a rate, and I know, and look, I care about veterans. I know you know I care about veterans. This is, how are we gonna service our veterans in this office when we are running out of space?
Yeah. Thank you for the question, Commissioner. So I've already looked into office space across the hall in the same building with pretrial services. So talking to the director there, Maria and I had a conversation last week on whether we can occupy space there that they have. The answer is yes. They have up to 6 empty office spaces. They also have a much larger conference room that's about twice the size of this, should we need to move our meetings over there. Stays within the building, so it's not confusing for the public and veterans that want to participate in the public meetings. So that's already in the works. So we have additional office space that we can utilize across this building.
We able to have our next meeting there?
That's the discretion of the board where the next board meeting is, but the answer is yes, we can use it at any time.
I think that we met over there during,
Flood, yeah.
during when that was, flood was it, right?
When would they
Yeah, so that is a big, won't have all this though, correct? They don't have TV monitor.
I don't think they have a TV.
No, I don't remember.
But we can have certainly Wi-Fi capability and be able to still.
We have
record
extra flags, so we could take our American flag over.
Yeah. So we've got space, but this move, yes, the last we've heard from the county is that this move for the majority of the occupants of the building will not be until March 2026 now. We originally thought it was the fall of 2025, but now it's March 2026. Certainly don't want to impede the progress of this office as we take on additional veterans. So if we're going to hire more staff, then we've got space for them across the building.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we move our next meeting over to the big conference room.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to move our next meeting to the larger conference room. I don't know what it's called.
I don't either, so that's fine.
Yeah, I know, I was just saying, I know where it's at, I just don't know what it's called, so, all right, so we have a motion and a second to move our next meeting into the larger, conference room. Is there any discussion?
Is it warm?
I hope so, for some reason, I'm froze.
Air conditioning.
Wear my hat next time.
Go back there, this is running.
You might well want to.
I had to wear that.
I feel I had to wear my hat.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
To move the
We
meeting.
look for heat. Could we have?
We're long jobs.
Mr. Burwinkle,
Yes.
Mr. Hennis,
Yes.
Mr. Parks,
Yes.
Mr. Rowland,
Yes.
Mr. Stanford,
Yes.
Mr. Ware,
Yes.
Mr. Watson,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes. Just looking at the date.
Madam President,
Yes.
I think I should remind you that in Robert's Rules of Order, if we want, executive assistant Pam to continue taking our notes, we have to make a formal motion to approve that every year, as we did last year.
Good point. Is that a motion?
I'm not making a motion, I was just making a clarification to Madam President. And it's also up to the secretary, I mean, if he wants to make the motion, it would be up to him, and if he take the notes himself, so which is, he has to delegate that authority.
Commissioner Parks said so moved.
She so moved it as a motion.
Looking into tiny homes for veterans. They did specifically, or maybe they, not that they didn't specifically exclude veterans, that the whole program that they were looking to was for veterans. So
Yes.
us looking at a separate program from theirs would be like a duplication of effort. Because I think that they were looking at funding and sources within the county as well.
That's correct, and they did note that they have already been talking to the city on how they can mesh these two initiatives, one for affordable housing shortage and two for veteran relief in the form of housing together. So I think that's still a conversation that's ongoing.
Yeah, but I mean, from what I heard you say is we were going to be directly talking to them for any programs that we might want to pursue. And I'm thinking that the Hamilton County Commissioners are already pursuing something for veterans. That's a little bit different, but if they're doing it, we should coordinate our efforts through them or with them.
Yes.
Rather than to have our own separate effort.
Yes. Agreed.
All right. Anything else on that? If not, any executive director, would you like to give us an update?
Yeah, oh, well, so sorry, for veteran support for pretrial services.
I slipped right over that.
This is just an addition in that same conversation that I just alluded to with the Director of Pretrial Services. Maria just asked if the Veteran Service Commission would consider providing some sort of clothing relief to incarcerated veterans that when they come out of the Justice Center, they immediately go to pretrial services to get a jacket. And there was one instance about a month or so ago that member of pretrial services came to our window and asked if we had any jackets. And the answer is no, we didn't have any, so we sent them to the VA. I'm just asking if this board would consider allocating no more than $2,000 for the purchase of men and women jackets so that we can house them here in our closet. And if there is a veteran that goes to pretrial services that are just in need of a winter jacket, pretrial services can ask us and we can provide that for them.
I'd like to make a motion that we provide up to $2,000. I'd really say $3,000 for a coach for veterans that's coming out of the Justice Department, for them to get a jacket here, winter coat here.
I'd be interested in knowing, some statistics.
Yes, it's not a lot. I don't have the number, but and that was actually the first time I was aware of a request for jackets that pretrial services had. They just came to us and said, instead of sending the veteran all the way to the VA for a jacket, and the specific need is for female jackets. They have some male jackets, pretrial services, not a lot of female jackets.
So are there a lot of female veterans being arrested?
I can get the answer to that question.
Commissioner.
Yeah, I don't know. But when I asked her how many veterans are talking about, she said not a lot.
Okay, well, first of all, we got a motion.
Right.
And we need a second before we can discuss it any further. Okay, so we got a second. Now we can have discussion.
Can they not notify us when they're releasing somebody, instead of having different size coats and different whatever, and the communication is key. If they're telling us they're gonna be releasing somebody, a veteran out, then we could prepare or possibly go purchase these items for a fit one. So now we're not stuck with, let's say, 3X jackets or whatever that we're never, you know what I mean? Like, or extra small or something. Wouldn't it be better if we developed a communication line? Because I know it's something that's been discussed before with Veteran Treatment Court, the communication with inside the pods in our office that has been explored before while they're incarcerated. If they're going to be released, it would make more sense if they give us a heads up. That way we can assist that way. Just a question.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what's happening, is communication with pretrial services. So pretrial services has that information. I don't anticipate that this is a monthly expenditure of $2,000. I mean,
Reentry does that.
And reentry, that's correct. Yes, reentry does that as well. This is just I would assume $2,000 or $3,000, whatever the amount is going to cover us for the year. This is, again, just to help veterans in desperate need.
So maybe we could coordinate with reentry.
Yes, ma'am.
They would have all those answers.
Yeah.
So VA already offers.
They do, but they have to go to the medical center for that. And I don't want to speak for the VA, but I would assume it's because that's the medical center. I don't know if one of the criteria is, well, are you coming here for VA treatment or assistance?
They have no criteria. The voluntary services have their office.
That's correct. Yeah, voluntary services
They provide shoes, coats, hats, socks.
It's just proximity.
Yeah.
To the Justice Center. It's we're closer.
So you're not saying that we house these codes per se. Like if you can work with reentry, and if we know a veteran's being released, then we could get that stuff in a timely fashion. Do you think that's possible instead of?
Yeah, I guess I'd ask for clarification. This motion is not specifically for the purchase of jackets, but 3,000 jackets to be allocated for the assistance of clothing for incarcerated veterans.
Right.
And however medium we do that with, whether it's reentry then.
All right, so we have a motion to spend up to $3,000 for 2025 for the allocation of jacket, whatever. Clothing that might be needed for the pretrial services.
Yes.
And it's been duly seconded. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Burwinkle,
Are we respectfully, yes.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Commissioner Watson, Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Holder.
All right, motion carries. All right, any other updates there, sir?
New business.
One other update, hired,
We finished new business.
we're in commissioner
Now we're on
executive director.
commissioner and director
Oh, okay.
updates.
We did hire a new BSO, Doreen Dillard, been here a few weeks now, doing a great job working in the financial services department, predominantly with Jim, taking in emergency financial assistance applications. Katie Finley, our new secretary, also helping the financial services department doing intake, but also going to very soon assume responsibility for payroll and assisting with any other HR functions that may have just been siloed specifically to Pam Mincer, trying to free up her plate as well so that she has relief. And then just hired also a new veteran service officer, Chris Smith. That offer was extended and accepted yesterday. He's a Marine coming from Ohio Means Jobs as a DVOP, knows Amber and Dubisi really well, came highly recommended and referred to. I interviewed him, our service manager, Kevin Ott, interviewed him, sharp guy. His only downfall is he is a Marine.
Oh, you about that gonna get yours now?
I guess I better get another hat.
He's a great addition. He'll be a great addition. So his start date is February 3rd.
Yeah, there's no Navy in it.
Okay, that's all updates I have.
Would it be possible for you to bring in our new hires where you can introduce?
Absolutely.
Yep.
What?
Good to put a face with a name.
The gift.
Oh, I got
Yes.
They sell them at the
VA.
PSC Center over at the VA hospital.
Oh,
If you can find one.
I
you can order them to online.
I have one other update. This was brought to my attention yesterday by Commissioner Burwinkle. Apparently, I was not keyed into this federal act that just got passed. President Biden signed it into law January 2nd. It's called the Dole Act. Specifically, the section of the Dole Act pertaining to county veteran service officers authorizes $10 million now annually for 2 years to create a new program to award competitive grants to CVSOs through the state to create, expand, or support county veteran service officers or similar local entities, prioritizing areas with high rates of veteran suicide, veteran crisis line referrals, or critical service officers shortages. So this is a big pot of federal funding that could be accessed through the state. I've already put out an inquiry to the state. They were not aware actually of this act that just got passed in this month, so they're looking into it. But thank you, Commissioner Burwinkle, for
That's wonderful. I didn't even know it's.
You need
Finance, what mechanism do we have in place to pursue grants?
specifically, we have not. It's been through another entity like the Addiction Services that's pursuing this federal grant. With this would be pursuing grant. Our first contact would be to Department of Veteran Services in Columbus. So that's what we're looking to do for this grant.
That would be you writing the grant or a combination of you and your finance person?
Looking into it, yes, yeah, but
Director,
more to follow on
would,
from the state.
in the event, with the grant, if there are reimbursements, that type of thing would not go through the county.
So yes. Yeah, we're working with Cheryl Floyd, who is our budget analyst, working very closely with her. Yeah. Yeah.
I would recommend that we all take a look at that because those provisions may require compliance with some other federal laws that are in existence. They may modify some existing federal laws. They may have limits on who can qualify for that program. So I would suggest that we all take a good look at that law as it is written, not the summary, because there may be some disqualification things in there, or there may be some qualifying things in there that we don't agree to, or we may not be able to do. So I think that I for one will print that out and take a really good look at it. But I recommend that the board that all members of the board do that.
So it's a federal grant.
Federal. It's the goal at that was signed.
That's absolutely. That's all I have, Madam President. I think they may be out to lunch, but
Okay,
Pam is gonna
well, we'll
check.
meet them next time if they're out to lunch.
For commissioners,
Just know next time that we like to meet the new staff members whenever they come on board.
Yes.
All right. Does any commissioners have any
Yes.
updates they'd like to give?
I'd like to make a motion, that we meet, got everything in order now, that we meet once a month.
I'll second that.
You guys just shot that motion down 2 months ago and I made it. Made the exact same motion and
I withdraw the second.
you weren't here.
Mr. Maurice.
You automatically recused from this comment. You guys shot the motion down and said you insisted on keeping the meeting at twice a month at 10 o'clock.
Yes, everything's over.
All right, we have a motion on the floor, duly seconded, to go to once a month meeting. Or is it going to be the second Wednesday?
So,
Second Wednesday at what time?
say 10 o'clock, same time.
Is there discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, we have to get a motion in a second, now we go to discussion.
She's already the same.
Yes, already been seconded, so now we got discussion.
Get it.
Okay, then there is a comment.
Okay, I know what you're talking, my conflict, 10 o'clock, but with 1 month, one meeting a month, I can work with that. I couldn't work with two. I can take 1 day off a month, 1 day vacation day off a month, but at two a month, that would be 24 days vacation. I mean, throw it away.
So
I'm good with once a
where
month.
you're good with once a month at 10 o'clock?
And Wednesdays, are you good with?
Right, I'm good, as long as we're out by 1 o'clock.
By what time?
One.
Just not.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Pushing it.
All right, is there any other discussion?
Why you changed your mind, Richard?
Why I changed my mind? We got everything, we,
He's like a woman, he can change his mind any.
You
I'm
might be a woman.
ain't that
All
a
right.
bitch? I don't
So,
appreciate
any
that.
other
I don't appreciate that, you know? Yeah, okay, thank you.
But since you took.
Any other discussion? Come on, guys, any other discussion?
Just have
I gotta bring my hammer next time. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, roll call please, Pam.
Mr. Burwell.
Yes.
I have a table right open. Commissioner Hadley?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanford?
No.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson? Yes.
No.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. All right, motion carried. All right, any commissioners got any updates they'd like to give? I just have one. I'm sorry I missed our last meeting. My husband was diagnosed with a brain tumor on December the 5th. Was operated on at UC Hospital. He was doing excellent until last week. He developed a severe brain infection. He is back at UC. So if I seem a little out of it today, my thoughts are with him right now. So, working closely with Orlando, giving him updates of where I'm at and what I'm doing. I'm always available by email, text, or phone call. But my first priority, of course, is with my husband's health. So I will miss no meetings, unless it's absolutely necessary. Hopefully by February's meeting, that he's going to be in rehab at Drake, and that we're going to be on the road to recovery. But I appreciate everybody's understanding and concern about that. So that's all I got.
God bless you.
And our prayers, Gene.
Gene, I was going to say my prayers are with you.
Appreciate that. So is there any other business to become before this meeting? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
We need to set the board meetings for
It
next.
is. It's been set. It's for February 12th at 10 a.m. Sorry.
Wait a minute.
That'll be the second Wednesday.
Second Wednesday.
Sorry, you
What's the
have
matter,
an
Victoria?
issue?
I'm going to the Super Bowl and I won't be back till Thursday.
And I go.
Okay, so our next meeting will be February the 12th, 2025 at 10 a.m. in the other conference room. If you don't know where it's at, stop here beforehand and somebody else direct you or take you over there, okay?
Yeah, we'll publish it today.
Right?
Okay, does it have to be so cold in here?
No, I don't know, I'm froze. I cannot tell you.
Boiler.
So wait, we have a motion to adjourn, so let's vote, we can, everybody's got things to do.
It's second.
Miss Pam?
Commissioner Burwinkle,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadden,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanford,
Yes.
Commissioner Parks,
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yeah.
Commissioner Watson, Commissioner Wilson,
Yes.
get everyone?
Yes. All right, thank you.